All right, yesterday was another good day. I like how we're gradually, just casually going up, little 1, 2%. And you combine the last 2 days, it equals a good move, 3, 4%. Bam, that's a good move in the minors. So I like those 2 days. First thing I'm going to say about yesterday, dollar was down. That's nice. I still think we're hitting an area where we'll probably bounce a little bit. But to be honest, and this can go now, I don't even know if whether we're going to go test this area. Maybe we've seen the bounce and maybe we go flush 98 to new lows. But I also don't think it matters too much. I think gold and the miners are being moved by other assets at the moment. So this, I do expect it to stabilize. I mean, look how much it stabilized here. And we've come down quite a bit since popping. So a little stabilization for a few days and then we'll see whether we go down or up. Now, second thing about yesterday, the markets were down strong. All right, we haven't had a -2. Look at that, the Russell down 3%. Haven't seen that in a while, really. And we've had a massive move. So I think gap filling is in the books here. So we should come down a bit more. Plus, look at that. Some of that's like low of day close. So a bit more downside in the markets. But you know what? Good. Good, or I don't care because the miners were up. And honestly, when the miners are up, when the markets are down like 2.5% or something, that's a really good day. That's like for me, the equivalent of a +4, 5% day in the miners. And the last 2 days, we've been sort of casually up 1, 2%. And you have 2 days like that, that equals one good strong day. Like a +3, 4% move in the miners. We'll take a look at that obviously later. But yeah, dollar down, markets down heavy. And I think the most important thing, I think the thing moving everything is yields up. Look at the 30-year, definitely closed above 5%. I was mentioning that. 10-year, you know what, 10-year, yeah, that's following too. The others follow less and less as you go up. But you can see they're moving up, 5% moving up, even the 2% moving up. I don't know what you call that, but it's all about the 30 and the 10. And honestly, I don't want to spend too long on yields, but they're all going up. Look at the UK moving up, uh, Europe moving up. It takes another 3, 4 days and you're back up there at, I don't want to say all-time highs, but you know what I mean? Since this entire move started, in bonds, basically the bond market just breaking down. And then what about Japan? Look at this. Isn't that the most important thing, maybe, that no one's really talking about? So Japanese and US yields, especially for me, are being watched like a hawk. And I think that's something that's moving markets more than people think. And I don't think gold sort of is negatively impacted. I think gold goes up because of that. All right, so that's yields, dollar, and market. Let's go straight to gold. Gold, another nice day, just casually moving up. So my last video was here. I thought we are going to hit the descending, and to be honest, we're kind of hitting the descending now. We're here, right? This is it. 3,250, I think is what I said, and I agree with that. We're hitting it roughly now. So obviously this is very early pre-market in Europe, but we want to see a close above this descending, then we go to the next horizontal. Keep it simple. So I don't know whether we're going to expect resistance at the descending because silver's already done it, right? We took that out already on the last video, so on Tuesday, and then yesterday was a good day, definitely. Kind of gave back a little bit, but today what we're doing so far, this is the key for me. This is actually the most important level, I think. Being able to close, right? The day's just sort of started. Close today at 33.7 or higher. Then the next move is basically I'm going to say all-time high, the 35 sort of zone that we haven't taken out in the last 52 weeks. So for me, we're going to go test that. If you can close, well, whatever, let's close above 33.7 and then it's on. And there'll be some resistance here, definitely. You may even get that day, the first day where we test it, it's like pushed down and it's like an ugly candle, but a green day, something like that. And then you retest it again. But once you start breaking out of 35, oof. Well, no point talking about that too much. Let's look at the miners. Start off simply with GDX. Also looking good, also a bit like silver, taking this out. And hopefully, if we can hold our gains today, especially silver, I really want silver to start outperforming gold clearly, which it's starting to do. And then you can start getting the miners to really outperform the metals in general. But I want GDX to start, hitting 51-ish, testing 51 today. That's maybe a bit of a big ask, but I think if silver and gold can hold their gains, yeah, 2.5%, that's good. But this is already good, closing above the descending. That's good. That's nice to see. GDXJ, I still think sort of GDXJ is stronger than GDX. Did it close beyond the descending? Not really, but the others did, and gold and silver are up. That will be testing sort of just below 65. That'll be good. That's also the last stand before the 52-week high. So good, so good. SIL, which typically looks like GDX. That's outperforming GDX. I think that's the most impressive of all the miners. SIL is sort of today probably going to test 43. If we can close above 43 in SIL, that could help drag silver up, and then they would drag gold and the GDX is up. So SIL is the strongest, and that looks like it wants to keep going up. So what's that supposed to be? Like senior silver stocks? That's cool because it's all about silver. I really think it's all about silver now. Gold's done its thing for ages. It's done all it can, and I really think silver is just beginning to outperform, and that could be the beginning of a long-term trend. SILJ also been weak and terrible for ages. Look at that, clearly taken out descending, closed above the next thing, which is horizontal. Today, 1320. You know what? Why not? Why not? Obviously, if silver and gold are up by the open, but why not test that? I mean, we should be here. We should be above here. We should be just sky high. Well, like 18, to be honest. We should be 18. So, yeah, if I'm asking you to outperform and have a nice big move, just do it, damn it. I mean, how much of a percentage move? 4%? You can do that. Yesterday was just mediocre, not even 2%. So I think still I think SIL will do it, and then SILJ will start doing it. You know, the senior silver stocks will start to outperform the gold senior stocks, and then the junior silver stocks will start to play catch up, just as silver starting to play catch up now to gold. So I like the mining candles, and you know what? I'm really happy because I was buying down here. I was buying the low actually on this last dip, and I'm really happy because I'm heavy in the miners. I didn't sell anything yesterday. I sold I'll go through it. I sold one stock, which is SBSW, and that's because it just hit technical resistance. But yeah, didn't sell anything. So we've got a gap fill here. Next stop for sort of 55, just below 55 on Newmont. Can it do it today? Yeah, if the gains can hold the Agnico Eagle, good. You can always count on Agnico Eagle to have a green day when gold is up. Can't really say that for the others. I mean, normally they do, but Newmont should have been higher. Agnico Eagle is good. That's what you want. Just below 120 is your next resistance. I expect that today, as long as everything is green by the open, of course. Barrick Gold, not the best close. Next stop, 1950. Maybe that's a bit much to ask for, but just, yeah, you can do that, 3%. Next one, Pan America, which has come down a lot, but a long way up. That is hard to do. That is just such a hard climb. Steep. Even if the metals and the mining ETFs are up, it's hard for Pan America to just go all the way back up. But yeah, if silver's breaking out, it'll do it. I think next stop is 2550. I love Pan America, but I know that's hard. So I'm just gonna watch what it does. I don't expect it to come down though either. So it's just gonna be a hard slog all the way back up. But I'm in heavy. This is my number one holding along with Barrick. So all right, next one, Wheaton. This looks like SIL. Wheaton is just honestly, it's probably the best of the seniors. I mean, better than Agnico, even though that's great too. But Wheaton is just, I think it could do a new all-time high close today. So that's beautiful, no complaints, and I'm happy I added to that. So that's cool. Next stop, Franco, Nevada. Not as strong as Wheaton, but still pretty good. Next stop, probably 170. This would be good too, but I think 170. Not the best close, but green is green. Metalla, just sideways up. Never really impressing me, but up is up. Plus the market was down heavy, so I'll take it. Not adding to this. Like I said, only if it goes all the way down here, a small add. But once it starts going back here, I'm just gonna start trimming. It's just, when you zoom out, you think, my God, if gold breaks out, this thing, even if it's losing money every day, it should just go up on general principles. So I'll hold it. Next is going to be the mid tiers. Um, Aris mining just constantly going up. This one I told you, 659, I think 649 maybe is where I got my sell just to make sure it's in. That'll be the last sell before I watch what happens because this is like a science experiment. Because look at that. Once you take this out, it just gets wild. It gets really weird. So that'll be interesting. It's just so super strong. So sell 649 or maybe 659. I need to revisit that and then I'll just watch that actually for the day. Um, Other ones, I am gold broke out of its descending, but not with superb close. But I wouldn't even call that a convincing breakout. So let's hope we have a green day so it can sort of confirm the breakout. I prefer a close above yesterday's high of day. Yeah, that's not great, but I like the stock, so it should start riding up to 740 if we can keep up the momentum. That's not great actually, but I'll take it. Not even 1%. That's more like it. Equinox, total gap fill, just totally, technically disciplined, touch the gap fill. So that's done. Next stop, if we're green, is this high, 690-ish. That's pretty good, Equinox. Nice little bounce there. That's quite a big move, actually, from the low. You know what I mean? 14%. It's so stealthy. I mean, they've had big moves since the bounce. And I haven't even trimmed anything, which is very much unlike me. I've really hardly trimmed anything. And the portfolio is worth more than it's ever worth. I think a few years ago it was worth more at one point where I just got psychotic, but maybe I should start trimming some of them. All right, B2 gold, that's pretty good. Not the best close, but it was a green day. Yeah, some of them are a bit weak. I don't want to see a red day when gold is green. That would, yeah, you know what I mean? When the miners are red, even though gold is up and gold's gone up a lot and you know it's going to come down, you know the miners are going to be down like 3% the next day. Don't want that. SBSW, this is the one I trimmed at 589. Obvious sell for me. That was at the open. I trimmed it. So yeah, that was cool. I mean the metals sort of had a good day at the beginning and then they sort of came down, so that explains that drop. It's normal. This will probably gap fill, come down a bit more and then retest. It depends on platinum, palladium also. But very, very happy. Right, let's look at the silver stocks. First Majestic. Honestly, nice small bounce, but should be so much higher. We're talking about, you know, 33.7 right now, and if you close above that, you're looking at 34.5, 35 on the silver. What the hell are we doing down here? This should be at 630 minimum today if we're closing at 33.7. Otherwise someone knows something about this and it's an absolute sell or it's the biggest steal there is. And I'm going with the latter. So I think this should make a huge move if silver holds its gains today. Otherwise, I'm not going to overthink it. I just think the market I'd probably add to it. Fortuna, that's more like it. Reclaim this zone, closed above 580. Next stop, yeah, up here, just below 630, 625-ish. It should hit there today with silver hold, if silver obviously holds its gains, goes without saying because it's had good news, it's a good stock, and it's a silver stock, and we need to be way higher, and it's cheap overall. Maybe not as cheap as some of the other ones, but I think minimum 625-ish as long as silver holds its gains. Next is CDE, my absolute favorite. Now, yesterday was not the strongest day. It wasn't even green, but it's just had a superb move. I think it's just holding to make sure silver does its thing. And this is just going to continue higher. I mean, plus we touched $8. That's why it retreated from there. But I think a close above 8 minimum is expected if silver holds its gains today. And then we start marching to 850. I need to trim this. It's worth way too much, but I just feel like it can go higher. I'm a bit I'm gambling a bit here, My bags are heavy and we're going up, but I need to just take into account risk management. I do not want a surprise drop day. Like, what if the yields climb a lot more today and the market really crashes 4% and then the miners are down 4% and then I take a massive hit? So I gotta do some risk management and trim a few, not just CDE. But this is otherwise destined to go higher. Next, Heckler, not that impressive. I mean, I didn't expect it to not be able to close above this last move up here at 522. Yeah, not good, but silver up. Sorry, I don't care what your attitude is. You're going all the way up to 540 minimum, but that's bad. That's just not good. EXK, that's more like it. It's a bit better than First Majestic, was it? But that's okay. Little breakout, the descending, little continuation, closed just at the last high there. You see why I always put these little horizontals on the last daily candle high. I don't think that's a coincidence either. They're very small mini levels, but the next one would be there. And the next daily candle that's higher than that is there. But come on, silver's, we should be, Jesus, we should be looking at $5 right now. So I don't want to get too cute, too zoomed in. For me, next stop minimum is 380. Let's have a big move. Mag silver, that's more like it. Next stop is the last high, 1918, 1920. That'll be tested today. So that's it. You know, it was a green day. Got to remember the markets were down pretty big, so we'll take it. But still, let's have this move in silver in particular in the silver stocks. Um, yeah, so let's see what happens by the open. But otherwise, I can't really complain, right? Just watch out with the 30-year yield. All right, good luck.